They wore faces you trusted, didn't they? Faces that smiled at you in daylight, but sharpened their knives in the dark. That's the beauty of betrayal. It never comes from strangers. It comes from the ones who knew your secrets, your weaknesses, your silence. And still, they twisted. Still, they fed. But here's the punchline. Betrayal isn't proof of your weakness. It's proof of your power. Why would they target you if you weren't dangerous? Why would they plot against you if you weren't carrying something they could never create? Think. If you were truly small, they would have ignored you. Instead, they tried to dim your fire before the world saw it blaze. Every smirk, every whisper, every blade they slid between your ribs, it wasn't hatred. It was fear wearing a mask. Fear of what you could become. Fear of how bright you could shine if they didn't cage you. Fear of the moment you realized you never needed them. And once you see that, oh, they lose everything. You see betrayal as a mirror, a brutal, shattered mirror. You don't just see their cruelty, you see your strength. You see that you survived what should have erased you. And survival is terrifying to those who hoped for your end. It means you're not only alive, you're evolving. So let them wear their masks. Let them hide behind fake smiles and hollow laughs. Because the day you stop begging for honesty, the day you stop expecting loyalty, that's the day you become untouchable. That's the day betrayal turns into fuel. And trust me, nothing burns hotter than a fire fed by lies. Now tell me, do you still curse their name at night? Or do you smile, knowing that without their betrayal, you would never have awakened this beast inside you? Pain is a feast, and they served it to you again and again. Small cuts, quiet insults, silent neglect. Every wound was a choice. Every slight was a lesson disguised as cruelty. They didn't just want you broken, they wanted you hungry for submission. Hungry enough to never rise. But hunger changes everything. Here's the twist. Every ounce of pain they poured into you became fuel. You weren't just bleeding, you were fermenting power. And power doesn't scream. It simmers. It waits. It builds until it becomes something uncontrollable, something dangerous, something they can never take back. Because pain, once claimed, becomes a weapon. Do you hear it? That low burn in your chest. That heat spreading through your veins. That's your war song. It's not mercy. It's not revenge. It's something sharper, something deeper. A promise to yourself that no blade, no whisper, no mask can steal your will again. That hunger has turned into dominance. They thought they were breaking you. They thought they were starving you. But every drop of suffering was planting seeds for a forest they could never enter. A forest where every tree is a memory of them, and every branch is your uprising. They fed you pain, and you grew an army. Now the question is simple. Will you let that hunger fade into ashes? Or will you fan the flames, until they burn everything they built around you. Because flames don't just light the way, they consume the path behind you. So tell me, do you still beg for peace? Or do you crave the fire? The real answer will decide if you remain their victim or become their reckoning. There is a moment, a sharp, silent moment, when the noise stops, when the weight crushes you so hard, you forget how to breathe. It's not drama. It's not pain for attention. It's a fracture, a quiet collapse. The world doesn't notice, but you feel it deep inside, where nothing can lie. This is the point they feared, not because they wanted you gone, but because they knew you might rise. They knew collapse can be a crucible, a place where weak bones break, but steel is born. And in that darkness, you find the truth no one dares to say aloud. Breaking is not the end, it's the forge. Every hit they landed, every word they whispered, it was training, brutal training. And when you reach the breaking point, you have a choice. Crawl beneath the weight or bend it to your will. The world calls it tragedy. The wise call it transformation. The brave call it awakening. Pain becomes the canvas. Your mind becomes the brush. And the masterpiece is chaos painted with clarity. This is where you stop asking for mercy. This is where you stop praying for rescue. This is where you start rewriting the rules. Where collapse becomes strategy. Where silence becomes a weapon. Do you understand? Breaking is not weakness. It is proof. Proof that they tested you. That they tried to erase you. And proof that you survived. But survival is not enough. The breaking point demands more. It demands revolution. So I ask you, are you ready to rise from this fracture as the thing they never imagined? The thing they will never stop fearing. Stop asking. Stop waiting. Stop begging. They will never hand you the keys. They never have. They never will. Permission is a luxury they keep for themselves. But you don't need it. You never did. You have what they will never give, your own will. Every breath you take now is proof. Proof that you are building in defiance. Proof that every scar, every wound, every betrayal is the foundation of something greater. You're not asking for approval. You're claiming your place. Carving your empire from the ruins they left behind. Brick by brick, blow by blow. They fear builders without permission. Because such builders cannot be controlled. They build not to please. They build to dominate, to disrupt, to rewrite the rules. And that is the chaos they cannot stop. Because your work will not ask for applause. It will demand respect. Fear. Submission. This is creation in rebellion. The art of making your own path, while the world tries to bury you under theirs. You are not constructing a life. They are constructing you. And the masterpiece, it is your own damn war. Painted in scars, fire, and defiance. So here is your choice. Will you still stand waiting for permission? that will never come? Or will you build your empire tonight, in spite of them all? Because once you build without permission, you own it all. Look into it. Not just the reflection, but the truth behind it. That glass doesn't lie. It shows the fragments of who you were and the pieces of who you've become. It shows the pain, the fire, the hunger, the scars, all of it, laid bare. No masks, no excuses. The dark mirror doesn't flinch. It doesn't comfort. It doesn't forgive. It forces you to face yourself. The real you. The one they tried to destroy. The one they underestimated. The one they whispered about in fear. The one who survived. The one who learned how to thrive in ruin. You will not like what you see at first. You'll see the weight you carried, the battles you lost, the betrayals you swallowed. But the mirror also shows something else, a power they can't measure, a mind sharpened, a soul unbroken, a spirit that learned to dance in chaos. Here's the truth they never tell you. Reflection is not weakness. It's preparation. It's strategy. It's the calm before the storm. When you stare into that mirror long enough, you stop fearing yourself. You stop fearing your power. And then you decide how to wield it. Ask yourself, when you look into that mirror tonight, will you see a victim? Or will you see a force they can never stop? A storm wrapped in a smile, a truth wrapped in madness, a soul that will not be silenced. So stand before the mirror, study it, learn from it, and let it sharpen you into something they will never forget. Every scar on your body is a story, a map of battles fought in silence. They call scars weakness. They call scars shame. But they don't know the truth. Scars are your arsenal. Each mark is a blade. Each memory is gunpowder. And you are the armory. They wanted your wounds hidden, buried deep, forgotten, because they feared what would happen if you learned their true value. Pain becomes power when you own it. When you stop wearing it like a badge of sorrow and start wearing it like armor forged in fire. That is the alchemy they cannot comprehend. Every insult they whispered, every betrayal they smiled through, every shadow they cast upon your path, it becomes a weapon in your hand. You turn their cruelty into strategy, their doubt into fuel, their silence into a war cry. You stop being prey. You become the hunter. Pain stops being a burden. It becomes a blueprint, a map to dominance. You learn where to strike, how to strike, when to strike. Every wound is a lesson. Every hurt is ammunition. Every scar is proof that you have survived and that you are armed for more. So hear me. The wounds aren't there to remind you of weakness. They exist to remind you of war. Your war. And in that war there are no rules, no mercy, no retreats, only victory, only power.
Now tell me, will you hide your scars in shame, or will you brandish them like the weapons they are?
There comes a moment after the fall when you stop crying. Not because the pain is gone, but because it doesn't matter anymore. The tears dry, the wounds scar, and something deeper stirs. Something raw, something unshakable. That moment is your awakening. It begins quietly. A flicker, a thought, a laugh that doesn't quite belong to you, a whisper in the dark, telling you enough. Enough of silence, enough of begging, enough of letting them decide your worth. That whisper grows until it becomes a roar, until you stand and declare your own dominion. The awakening is not gentle. It's chaos wrapped in clarity, a mind broken open, a spirit unleashed. You stop pleading for justice and start creating it. You stop waiting for a sign and become the storm you once feared. And in that fear, you find freedom. You see them still. The ones who tried to break you. They look, but they can't see you anymore. Because you've become something they forgot existed. Something they never prepared for. You became yourself. In full color, in full fire, in full force. This is where the mask falls off, where the hunger turns into purpose, where the chaos becomes your creed. You awaken, not to survive, but to conquer, to rise, to show them that the pain they gave you was never yours to bury. It was yours to wield. So, the question now is not if you awaken, it's what you'll do when you do. Will you whisper or will you roar? Do you know what hurts the most? It's not the knife in the back, it's the smile they wore while twisting it. That look, that satisfaction. Like your pain was their evening entertainment. They didn't just see you breaking, they enjoyed it. And the world kept moving as if nothing happened. That silence, that indifference, that was the real poison. But here's the secret no one tells you: pain is a currency. Every drop of suffering you've endured is a debt they can never repay. They thought they were burying you. No. They were planting you. And what grows out of the dirt is something they can't even comprehend. A creature they'll regret ever provoking. Listen closely. You are not broken. You are forged. The fire didn't consume you, it sculpted you. Every scar on your skin is a signature, a mark of survival, a language of rebellion. They wanted to silence you, but silence has a sound so loud it shakes their bones at night. So let me ask you this: are you still bleeding for their amusement? Or have you realized the game is different now? Because the moment you see it, truly see it, you stop being their victim. You stop being their toy. You become the storm they never saw coming. And storms don't ask permission to strike. They fed on your pain. Yes, they drank it like wine. But here's the twist. What they swallowed will choke them. And what you became in that darkness, that's something they can't touch, can't kill, can't cage. You walked through fire and came out laughing. And that laugh, oh, that laugh is going to haunt them forever. Now tell me, do you feel it? That shift inside your chest, that chaos turning into clarity, that hunger that refuses to die. It's here, it's alive, and it's yours. Don't hide it. Don't tame it. Because the world isn't ready for what you've become. So tell me, do you still beg for peace? Or do you crave the fire? The real answer will decide if you remain their victim or become their reckoning.